So the first question is, will certain meditation methods work better for certain people, and how do we know what practices suits us best?
Now, with this type of questions, yes, in in the in the overall, when we look at it, the first question, when we look at it, it is true. There are certain methods that are better for some people, or to start for some people. For example, like if you have a lot of anger, if you have a lot of anger problem, anger issues, then what is good to start off with some metta, some degree of metta. Uh, uh, if you have a very attachment to beautiful things and so on, but you know that development of the mind is important, but you need to reduce that desire first. Sometimes the practice of 32 parts of the body can be also very good. Contemplation or reflection on our things, for example, our things that we wear, or the shelter, or the things, the medicine that we use, the four basic requisites, that type of reflection also is very good for those people who are very attached. Uh, uh, yes, certain method is this. And also, when it comes into vipassana, when it comes to vipassana, you see, it's suitable for all types of people. It's just that we may have a different method only, different method. But vipassana is supposed to be whatever tendency that you have is suitable to you, because later part in the development of the vipassana, usually the yogis will fall into their own ways of meditation. That means the whole vipassana, it will begin to, you will tune it to your own how you're going to develop it. But it's still in the correct way. Now, some people, for example, like after you meditate for some time, you find that you are more keen in the you're more keen in like chittanupassana, for example. You're more keen into chittanupassana. But when you are beginning in a meditation, you are doing it a lot of body contemplation, the body meditation. But then after some time, you find that your mind is you find that your track of your meditation is goes into chittanupassana. For some people, they are more into dhammanupassana. Uh, for some people, it's Vedana is the feelings part, and some people is the bodily part. So so after some time when they come into it, the it is split a little bit here and there. Although you may be may be more better in the, let's say, in the body, but you are still good in the other three. If you're good in the chitta, doesn't mean that you neglect all the others. But you're still good in all everything. So, so that one depending on after you have developed for some time. But if you are in a beginner, but if you are a beginner, you don't try to go and choose yet. If you go and try to choose, first of all, you don't have the fundamentals. The fundamentals is not strong. You cannot do all these type of things. So the beginning part, you must develop a lot of mindfulness. And the mindfulness is where it comes. You use the body first. And that's why the body in the Kaya Nupassana is the first one. And then you use the body first. Then after that, when you have sufficient amount of strong, continuous mindfulness, then later part, your mind will automatically know how to adjust it for you. You don't have to go into like, I want this or I want that. It will come in naturally for you. So that time, you know what is suit you best. Okay? All right.
Next question. Is it
Mm.
possible for lay persons to attain stream entry If so, what sort of practice regimes are involved?
Yeah. For those who wants to attain stream entry, of course there are a number of things that is required from you. First of all, you must have that faith. Do you have really have that faith that you want to get out of this cycle of birth and rebirth from samsara? Now, a lot of devotees they do not have this type of faith. They have faith to do good. They have faith to take care of this to do the sila, to do services and so on. But they do not have faith into getting out of this cycle of birth and rebirth. For this one, the stream entry is too far away. And the moment if you have that state of mind, 死了 it's going to be a long journey for you already. A long journey. But if you think that you can do it, then your mind, your whole attitude have changed. So you must have faith. Once you have faith, then also, of course, you must have that energy, you must have that physical health also. If you don't have that physical health, you cannot strive. We need to have that good health, and then you need to strive. You need to make the effort again and again and again and again and again and again, continuous. Therefore, other words, you need to have time also. If you don't have time, then you also cannot. You see, some people like to meditate. Bante, yeah, meditation is good, Bante, but I don't have time, Bante. My work is so much. How to meditate, Bante? Wait till I retire first. After retire already, they got chuchu and chichit already, they got all kinds of every other thing you want to take care and do. Then how are you going to meditate? Uh, how you don't have much time. So you must look for time. You must spend some time. You must in your for example, I when you want to manage time, sometimes I talk about managing time in per year. If you want to be a yogi, you must, if you are working, you must block a certain time for that development of that meditation. You must block. If you don't block that time for it, you that holiday that you have, you're going to fill it up with kai kai lah, fill it up with tour here and there, with this and that. Then you can go to all kinds of everything. So the meditation will be lasting in your mind or not in your list also. So you got to fully able to block it. Now, once you blocked it, you make sure that you go for that retreat, whatever whatever that you need to do. So make sure that you make that effort when you are striving for a period of time. And here you must, if you cannot finish it and then you continue the next retreat, the next retreat, next retreat, next retreat until you attain it. So it is possible, not just only stream entry. You want to go all the way to Arahant also can. So it is challenging. It is challenging. 3.
Bante, next question.
Can yeah,
Can
okay.
lay people practice contemplation of foulness of the body, 32 parts of the body? What are the benefits or disadvantages of such a practice?
All right. Okay. Now, this fullness of the body, the 32 parts of the body, um, here 32 parts of the body is that they are helpful. They are helpful, but you have to do it. First of all, you must have strong, good mindfulness. If not, these things is going to boomerang and hit you back and hit you hard. So, if you have this mindfulness at hand, then this foulness of the body, you start off with head, hair, body hair, nail, teeth, skin. For example, head, hair, body hair, they got 32. But you start off with 5 first. Then when you're doing it, you must able to bring about the foulness or the disgusting nature of that particular component of the body. I'm talking right now, I'm just summarizing the whole thing. I'm not talking about the whole practice itself. The whole practice is kind of a long thing, but summarizing is that you have to bring your mind to see that that particular part of the body is dirty, is disgusting, it is foul. Uh, um, for example, you start off with head hair, body hair, nail tips. Let's say we start with head hair. How are you going to see the head hair as something which is dirty? Uh, because most of the time we don't see the head hair as dirty. If you're a woman, especially, you love the hair. Uh, for example, when you ask them to go, hey, come be a nana. I cannot, Bante. Why cannot? Because they love the hair. So because the attachment to the hair is so much. So the first thing is that we have to see the hair as something as not beautiful. When you see it as not beautiful, the mind doesn't attach to it. So how do you see it as not beautiful? You see it as head hair. When you see this head hair, you see it as like you reflect that head hair is like on the ground, on the floor, or sometimes when you see it in your toilet, your whole bunch of your hair is like sticking on the drainage pipe there, drainage hole there. You got to take it up and then you look at it, whether nice or not, beautiful, na ko sui go, then the time not then but then you reflect on it that when the once the head hair is removed from the body and it's on the ground, then it's not something beautiful. Or you reflect that the head hair that you're able to notice it, that if you don't wash it, you leave it as it is without your intervention, then there will be it becomes smelly. There are all kinds of organism, all kinds of bacteria, fungus or whatever is going to grow into on the hair. And then with that imagination, your mind is like detached from the attachment of the hair. And you repeat it again and again. Then you become much more you become not attached to all this head hair, body hair, nail tips, skin, and so on. Yeah? But disadvantages is not to say there's disadvantages, but you must do it correctly. Now, if you don't do it this correctly, especially if you don't have people to guide you, and also you have a weak mindfulness, when you do these things, it can turn into like your mind become very warped, like like when when you're supposed to see it as just non-attachment, but you are overdoing it until it becomes like, yo, terrible, this hair, I must not go and take care of it anymore, I don't care about it anymore, then I must not have this anymore. And then if let's say nails, you see that your nails is something not beautiful, you begin to want to pull off all the nails. I think cannot. That one is too much. You are doing too much. That is where the teachers comes in to help you, to stop you from doing all these things, or completely stop you from the meditation also. So there must be a certain limit just for you to see this body as something is not beautiful and not overdoing it until you become disgusted with the body, even when you are in the everyday life, and that one is too much already. That one is too much already, because that one is lack of mindfulness. Instead, that is going into aversion already. Okay.
Okay, thank you, Bante. Bante, if yogi finds lying position can concentrate better than sitting position, can they continue? And two, if we meditate in places where there are fresh air like jungle, will it enhance the quality of our meditation?
Now, question one. If you yoga find cause, uh, this one, this one, don't try to do it too much. If you meditate, let's say 100% of your meditation time, let's say this one may be like 5%, 10% of your time, and you can, if so happen that you do, if you don't do it also can, because sometimes when you find that your concentration is good for a period of time, then you continue for a while. Yeah. But the problem is that with this lying position, your concentration is impermanent, your mindfulness is impermanent. After a while, say later 10 minutes, your meditation starts to deep already. But then that time, you don't realize that sometimes sloth and torpor at the background is already creeping in slowly and slowly. And then they one is getting more and one is getting less, and then you still doesn't get up yet, and then terus you tidur already. So terus you go sleeping already. So this one is not good. For a short while, yes, not to say cannot, not to say cannot, but a short while, yes. But unless you are a very well advanced meditator, that is a different thing. But if you are just want to start off on don't use this lying position as your part of your regime of your meditation. Huh? If we meditate in places where fresher air, jungle, okay. Now, this one is not necessary. It can be a part of it, yes. But when you are in the jungle, or in the places, there are also other factors you have to keep in mind. There are mosquitoes, there are ants, there are other, there are snakes that's going to crawl around you. That also you have to take into consideration. And if your mind is not fearful of all these things, then perhaps it's good. So, but the fresh air in the jungle, sometimes it is, sometimes in the jungle, in the forest, or in the open, sometimes the air is very stifling. Like sometimes when you go into a forest, the air is not moving, it's completely still, it's very quiet, and it gets very humid inside there. Can you tahan or not? Can you tahan all the humidity? And sometimes, yes, it's fresh, it's blowing for a while. That's why here you don't get attached even to the fresh air. You go to the place where it's free from people. When you're free from people, like the jungle, like the forest, when you're free from people, it's easier to meditate. But you have to able to sustain your mind. You must able to have a strong mind, not to get affected by all these animals and insects and so on, and not to get attached with all the quietness and all the fresh air and so on. So you go in with and it is good, but don't get attached to all these things. Okay.
Next, Bante, how do we differentiate meditation pain and physical pain? For example, backache. How can we overcome the pain during meditation?
Simple, this one. If you want to know meditation pain is that when you sit down there, the pain is there. When you get up from the meditation, the pain is disappear. But it's a physical pain one. You get up, that pain is still hanging there. That means if you have, for example, like a backache, if you have a physical pain in the beginning, then when you finish your meditation, then that physical pain is still there and is there for like your whole meditation retreat or your whole time or your whole day, the next day is still there. That means that is physical pain already. That one perhaps you need to see a doctor already. Meditation pain, you go and see your meditation teacher. That one, physical pain can be a problem because sometimes that physical pain, if you are not careful, you sit there for a prolonged, going to injure that physical pain for even more difficult for you. Yeah. Okay.
Bante, how can Vipassana meditation guide us to attain a good rebirth at the moment of death, especially when we are sick, bedridden, and in pain?
Now, recently, about 2 or 3 days ago, I was talking about the heap of wholesomeness. The Buddha says that what is the heap of wholesomeness? Then the Buddha mentioned that the heap of wholesomeness is this four foundation of mindfulness. Uh, but the Buddha didn't say dana is a heap of wholesomeness. The Buddha doesn't just say sila is a heap of wholesomeness or whatever your service is there. He said the four foundation of mindfulness is heap of wholesomeness. So here, when you say when the mind develops vipassana in all these four foundation of mindfulness, then you every moment of that purity of the mind, it's wholesome mental action. There's a wholesome mental action, and the more purified your mind is, the stronger that wholesome mental state. So, because of your development of that powerful merits that you have, and also a mental progress and a wholesome mental states are you are churning it, you are arousing it, you are sustaining it. And then when it comes to death, you like you perhaps most probably or the chances is much higher if you don't meditate at all. The chances are so much more higher. Therefore, and also when we get sick, bedridden of pain, just like just now the talk I was talking about in the beginning part of it, when we deal with pain and so on, this is where also it's become very helpful that your mind become able to tolerate the pain, be patient with the pain, and that when you know that the death is coming, you can able to keep your mind open and accept without mind goes into all kinds of sadness and longing or attachment to your wife and to your children, to your this and that. Then the mind is so much more at peace, and because of the past development of Vipassana, all the merits has accumulated so much. Then yes, the chances of good rebirth is higher. I say chances, okay. 7.
Bante, I hope to get an answer. I practice Anapanasati and Metta, get a lot of pity. Body is trembling and shaking. It is both relaxing, comfortable, and disturbing. Please advise.
Okay, all right. Now here, if you're doing Anapanasati, if you get a lot of pity, your attention must not stay with the pity. Your attention must come back to the Anapana object. Come back to breathing. Let the pity, let the pleasant sensation of the body right now, or in the mind right now, be at the behind or at the background or surrounding it, surrounding your attention on the main object. Keep to your main object, and you're actually, when there's some pity coming up, and that means it shows that there is some development in the anapana. Now you keep on with your object of your anapana, and then you keep that piti around you. So that time, when your mind is not too paying attention too much to the piti, then the relaxation, then the all this trembling and shaking become much more less. So too when you do the metta, also the same thing. You keep on to your wordings, or you keep on to your radiating of the metta rather than the piti. Let's keep on do the metta, keep on spread the metta, but let the piti be surround you, and it's perfectly all right. Most people, when they practice this, they tend to attach to the piti rather than the object of the meditation. That is where all a lot of sometimes shaking, sometimes the body is moving, sometimes the body is swinging. All these type of things are coming in because of the piti. Now, if this type of pity becomes too much, and then even you're mindful of it, it cannot stop. So this time you should get up from the sitting for a while. Get up from the sitting for a while, break the sitting, go for a walk, go for a mindful walk, and be mindful. Don't let the mind run here and there. Just walk for a while. Just walk for a while. Later, when everything you find that the mind more settled, then come back again. If you cannot control it, if you can control it, put the whole pity aside. Okay. All right.
Bante,
Next one.
next question. How do we recognize false meditation teachers who are charismatic and able to brainwash us? How do we avoid or get away from such fake, selfish guru?
Now, this question, or similarly to this question, I just answered it on Friday with also with a Q&A session. It was a Q&A session, something like this. Now, in this type of meditation teachers, or even teachers or charismatic teachers, then we have to be, we have to be in ourselves. We must have certain fundamentals first. And the fundamentals comes in with the, you must have some basic understanding of the suttas, or the or the Abhidhamma or the Vinaya or the Tipitaka, and also their commentaries, what commentary, and nowadays they have a lot of like translation and the commentary from and behind, and then that is where the Theravada understanding falls, Now you must have that as much as you can, and that'll be very good. The problem is nowadays, there are people who don't want the commentaries, They only want the suttas because they thought that these commentaries are not the words of the Buddha. But the problem with the present teachers are some present teachers, not so all. Some present teachers, they can do the commenting themselves, but they disregard the commentaries that has been laid down as being vetted and also being scrutinized by the whole Buddhist council. All the monks and the learned practitioners and all vetted it and so on. They disregard it, some teachers, and then they use their own interpretation to interpret these things. So when they do these things, they interpret the suttas in all kinds of ways. And here, there are times also I hear from the sutta talk about non-self, non-self. Then some teachers says, cannot be non-self, man ma. There must be self into it. How can there be non-self? Then they are going against all the teachers already, all the even the fundamentals of the suttas also already. Then they come with all kinds of uh, explanation and so on, and their explanation can be very good, very interesting. Then we get caught into it, see like that. Because this time we're not using our wisdom, we are not discerning already. We are just blind faith and then just completely open and surrendering to, because they are good in speaking. Nowadays, those people who are wearing robes or wearing, whether it's me or whether it's this and all that thing, the next thing that you have to do is to put it into practice. Because only when you put into practice what you have learned, in whether in the daily life or in the meditation, after some time when you develop the mind, then only you realize that your discerning factor become much more clearer. Which one is wholesome, which one is wrong. That time you can able to scrutinize even myself or other monks or other teachers. Then you can scrutinize, hey, Bante talk this one, I think it is not so correct. Or that Bante talk, I think that one is proper. This one is not proper. Something like that. Your mind can able to distinguish it better. Because first, you must have the fundamental theory that you must have. Two, you must have a lot of practice. So if you don't have both of that, these two criteria, it's very difficult for you to know which one is the real and which one is not. If it's just like I give you a diamond, when I give you a diamond, if you have not know anything about the diamond, everything you see sui only, very shining only, must be real already. Right. So you must have that, like a jeweler. They can able to look into it, they can able to see it, they scrutinize it, they discern it, then they come into a conclusion, this is a real diamond, this is a fake diamond. So too, the same thing, like we also as a this one, there are right Dhamma, and also there's also a lot of adhamma or wrong Dhamma. Even nowadays, a lot of these devotees also, they are not only this, not only they are not, nowadays they are quoting even from other religion, and they put into the Buddhist this one also, because sometimes they thought that, oh, this is morality, fine, but the whole thing, the morality that these teachers are talking is connected to God, connected to some universal consciousness, to connected to something which is permanent, where therefore this morality is not the right morality. This is not the right sila, although it sounds nice, although it sounds correct, but they are connecting it to a lot of wrong view. So a lot of times I see when people just posting in their share whatever things from other religion. I've seen it. I know there's something wrong already, but their devotees just say, "Wow, everything so beautiful, so nice, so sweet, everything." Just like you see a fake diamond, I think that is all real. Huh? Okay, what
Next
next?
question. Bante, I was told that focusing on rising and falling of the abdomen is a Vipassana meditation, while focusing on the breath is considered Samatha meditation. Can Bante please clarify?
um, you see, this vipassana, rising, falling of the abdomen, or in breath, out breath, they are all fundamentally they are all just wind element. They are just wind element, right? And wind element, whether you are doing rising, falling, or breath, they can both of them can go both ways. Can go both ways. Either go into vipassana or going into samatha. It all depends on how you divert the mind. You know, just like how you want to divert the water, you go into a certain path. So to the mind, if you have people to guide you, a competent teacher to guide you, then if you want to practice vipassana, then they will push your mind towards that particular way to notice it in particular way. Therefore, it goes into a vipassana, and it notice it in a certain another way, looking it in another way, then it goes into samatha. Whether it is a whether it's a whether it's a rising falling, or whether it's a in breath out breath. Okay, the principle is like this. But in the real world, in the real world, in the real world is that when we do rising and falling, most of the time, it's related to vipassana. Most of the time it's related to vipassana. And most of the time when you do in breath, out breath, it's related to samatha meditation. This is in the real world. But in principle, both of it can be developed. Now, here, if you are a very skillful yogi, uh, now, in the beginning, if you have that sort of idea that rising, falling, you stay with vipassana in breath out, stay with samatha, it's still okay. Not to say that you are wrong, because of our limitation of our mental development right now in the beginning partner, it is easier for you to separate like that. If not, I would tell you, hey, this one also can do, like that also can do. Then you go inside the meditation, you completely mong cha cha, You do not know what is what. So in principle, yes, but in practice, as I said, you need to have a teacher to guide you, and it depends on how you want to develop it. Then you seek for the certain teacher, and then they guide you in that certain way. Okay, and
Thank you, Bante.
last
Next
question. Okay.
question. Yeah, last
Mm.
question. After attaining calmness and tranquility during meditation, can a person let go of his career or join monkhood?
Oh, I want to join monkhood. Okay. First of all, you must not attach to your hair, huh? Or nunhood also. Now, attaining calm and tranquility is not the only criteria that you want to join monkhood, because this calmness and tranquility, they are not permanent. They are not permanent. They are fluctuating here and there. After that, you join the monkhood already, then no calmness, no tranquility. You want to get out again or not? You join it because you have the motive is an ulterior motive, and it's not right. And that calmness and tranquility should not be your criteria to join monkhood or nunhood. You all want to join monkhood or nunhood, your criteria is to get out of this cycle of birth and rebirth, and because of the monkhood, you have the conditions for you to practice better. Therefore, because the monkhood or nunhood, you don't have to work, you don't have to go in, you don't go in outside to buy things and outside to work and all that. Then you have a lot of time on your side. And a lot of time you use it for the development of the mind. And the development of the mind don't go and attach to the calmness and the tranquility, because they are impermanent and they are part of the meditation, but a lot of time people get attached to this tranquility. Your job is the final goal. On all of us, hopefully in the future, we have a clarity of mind to see a final goal, that we can able to get out of this cycle of birth and rebirth, not just this calmness and tranquility. Okay.